Actually, this forum is organized by your senior lah. Actually, mungkin tim Erman, rasanya Mahfuz pun kenal kot.
Betul. Yeah.
Ini, so I think untuk next week, I just nak request lah you all join forum ni lah. I think bos Mahfuz pun datang tu. Saya pun tak kenal sangat. Bos Mahfuz ke tu Mahfuz?
Tak, bukan.
Bukan bos lah.
Tapi saya kenal lah.
Saya kenal lah. Big boss dekat ATM lah kan.
Dekat Bicep.
So I think I akan indirectly akan involve lah dalam forum tu.
Okay. So meaning that our class remain 3 o'clock, Doctor, on that day?
Actually, this is our last class,
Okay, Doctor.
For next week, I would like to ask you all join this forum.
Okay.
So maybe before we start our class today, we just nak confirm actually what available date for your test.
Okay.
Any suggestion from you all? We can also possible. You all decide weekend or weekdays.
Oh, I see.
Just 2 okay, just 2 hours.
Okay.
2 hours open book. 3 question only.
3 question. Oh, I thought there is no exam final, Doctor.
It's not exam final, Mahfuz. Just a test.
Oh, test.
We call it as a test 1 lah.
Test 1. So after test 1, is there any?
You already complete your assessment. I think you all have 4 assessment.
Okay.
2 case study, 1 project kan.
Okay.
And then 1 test.
1 last test lah.
Last test.
Okay.
So any suggestion? Maybe you can discuss among you all. Okay, and propose 1 date lah. Maybe if you prefer weekend, it's okay. Weekend. I think after next week, after next week 29, is it possible if your test is 5 February?
5 February. Okay, Doctor.
You start at 3 and finish at 5. 2 hours only.
5 February, 3 until 5. Okay.
Is it possible, Ivan?
I'm okay with that.
No complaint. Okay. So this is our last class. Just remind again. Okay, this is our last class, and for next week, I would like to ask you all join forum organized by your senior. Okay, I think it's a very good forum if you refer to the title. Okay, so hopefully you all can join and take advantage lah from this forum. Okay, you can join. I think online through YouTube. If not mistaken. Okay.
They're also organizing on face-to-face, right?
Yes, face-to-face also can.
Because they're inviting me to come to for face-to-face.
Yes, actually, this forum, the concept of this forum is a hybrid, face-to-face and online. So, okay. For today is just discuss about component of security architecture. So component is a last phase in sub model layer. So component security architecture is in the view of treatment view. Okay, we specialize tool and product component of your enterprise security architecture. So of course, for sure, in this course, we stop short of discussing any specific or vendor. Okay, I think we must be so we must try to be neutral. For sometimes it depends on your budget actually. So so this open discussion. So we not mention about any vendor, Cisco or maybe any product, Huawei and so on. So it's not appropriate to comment on the one versus another. So maybe the market also change so rapidly. So find specific tool and product, I think, as maybe you as a IT personnel or maybe a security analyst must do on your own research. Okay. So in for this uh, topic, the most important thing is interoperability. Actually, what is interoperability? At component layer of any architecture, it is essential that the various components selected from different vendors should be capable of being plugged together to build integrated structure, especially when we try to expand our system, our network. So we need to make sure various type of component, okay, can capable of being plugged together. Okay, maybe Huawei can communicate. For example, maybe Huawei can communicate with Cisco, and Cisco will communicate with Fortinet and so on. Okay, this means that they must have compatible interface. Okay, otherwise system integration become very difficult. Okay, so so this the best way to achieve integration of individual component is to select component that have compatible interface. For example, actually any devices, okay, usually have international standardized interface. For example, router. A router have many interface type. For example, internet interface, fast internet interface, tokering, maybe ISDN, and so on. So for sure, all these interface connect using standard connector. For connect with fast with internet, we will need RJ45. Okay, so this is we call as a standard. If you as a vendor not follow the standard, for sure your router is not marketable. Okay, that's why we need what we call as a compatible interface. This quality should be one that guide your search for suitable tool and product. So, so the most important thing when we try to expand our system, our network system, the first one is interoperability. Interoperability is which allow our component plug together with or to build integrated structure. This concept of interoperability. The next one is when we're talking about security, actually a lot of security standard. Okay, every component will build to a unique interface specification. Nothing would ever work together. Okay, the standard need to ensure that many different components can be integrated it can be integrated to form a layer system. Actually, when we're talking about standard, is hundred of standard, okay, for various aspect of security. The first one is ISO. I think most of you is familiar with ISO, is International Organization for Standard. Actually, ISO is a worldwide federation of national standard from more than 140 countries. Okay, actually, when we're talking about ISO is a non-government organization established in 1947. The mission of ISO is to promote the development of standardization. Okay, actually, ISO work result in international agreement that published as international standard for example, ISO 2000 27001 is for security standard. This is an example. Actually, a lot of standard for security are produced by ISO. Actually, for more detail, maybe you can browse or go through the website ISO www.iso.org. Okay, this is a standard from ISO. And then the next standard is IEC. IEC is International Electrotechnical Commission. Actually, IEC is a leading global organization that prepare and publish international standard for all electrical for devices, okay, electronic and related technologies. So the IEC charter embrace all electronic electro electro technologies, including electronic, magnetic, electromagnetic, and so on, multimedia, and so on. Actually, the difference between IEC is the IEC focus on electronic. For all electrical and electronic is produced by IEC actually. And then the next standard is IETF. IETF is Internet Engineering Task Force. Is one of the largest open international community of network designer, operator, vendor. Mostly when we're talking about Cisco, Huawei, Fortinet, and so on, follow this open international standard for vendor actually. So actually in this IETF, it's done by working group which organized by topic into several areas, including routing, transport, security, and so on. If you Google RFC, actually a lot of uh, standard produced by IATF. Okay. So for security, actually there are some of security standard. For example, NC British Standard Institute. BSI is one of organization focused on security standard. Okay, so the next one is we call as W3C is a worldwide web consortium. The world W3C is develop interoperable technologies for specification, guideline, software, and tool specific for internet. Okay, to lead the web to its full the potential. Okay, so W3C is a forum for information, commerce, communication, collective understanding, and it's created 1994. Start 1994. Most of the our actually the world moved to internet. Okay, so the lead to start 1994 to lead the World Wide Web. Its full potential by developing common protocol for HTTP, HTTPS is a common protocol in WC3. Okay, so WC3 has around 450 members organization from over the world. So for more detail, maybe you can browse at www.w33. I think I missed C. Okay, .org. So there's a lot of standard from W3C focus on internet. So this actually this is in general when we're talking about we have W3C, we have IETF, we have ISO and so on. However, the internal security standard must be include the following. Okay, the first one is a platform security standard. The next one is cryptographic standard, password management standard, and so on. So we try to discuss in general actually what is standard produced for internal security. For example, platform security standard for each type of platform in use in your enterprise, setting the standard for configuring and operating those platform. This is in general. Okay, so if you want to apply a cryptographic standard, it's define which algorithm. Okay, maybe what type of algorithm we have in cryptographic, maybe AES, and so on, and protocol to be used for certain application. We need to follow this standard when we try to apply cryptography or cryptographic in our organization. So password management is dealing with a standard password length. For sure, password must be not just a single character, must be a standard at least six, maybe eight length character, password syntax, frequency of chain, and so on. So then this is we're talking about general. So physical security standard for various type of site. Maybe we need fans. Maybe we need CCTV, guard security, and so on. This is just for in general. Okay, document standard for all type of security related to document, including intranet publication, so secure communication interface for connecting application to the enterprise infrastructure, user interface standard for providing consistent user login. If you refer to your textbook, is discuss detail actually what is a physical security standard. Okay, for example, maybe it can discuss the type of physical security standard. Maybe refer to at least we have must at least CCTV, logbook, um, uh, biometric, and so on. Okay. So in this topic, we also discuss about web services. Actually, when talking about services, web service is a collection of open protocol and standard which are widely used for exchanging data between system and application. Refer to this the figure. Actually, web services is communicate as a medium how to make sure the application such as we are developed under PHP, under C, under maybe Java, .NET and so on can communicate and can integrate each other. Okay, so software application written using various programming language, for example, as mentioned, C, Java, and so on. Okay, and running on multiple platforms. Okay, so it's using web services which allow you to use is allow to exchange data over computer network. So just imagine if you communicate with Chinese, for example, he speak Chinese, you speak Malay, and I will maybe speak Nigeria. For example, I'm not sure what Nigeria, the mother tongue of Nigeria.
Namibia,
So,
Doctor, Namibia.
Namibia, sorry, sorry, I would. Sorry, Ivan. So maybe we need a platform we call as a web services to make sure all these type of various programming language can communicate. Okay. So web service support communication among a number of applications with HTML, XML, WSDL ni is what we call as a web service description language. So and other open standard. For example, XML tag the data XML. Actually XML focus on data actually. So XML take the data, so transfer the message, and WSDL describe the services accessibility. These are how web services work in our internet. Okay. So then the next one is API. I think API normally in Java we have own API we call as a JSON, for example. So API is software interface that allow two application. Okay. Actually, API and web services is a totally different actually. So API is a software interface that allow two application to interact with other without any user intervention. Okay. API provide product or service to communicate with other product and services without having to know how they are implemented. This is an example that to differentiate how API and web services work. Okay, for example, web services is focused on uh, how to connect XML, actually JSON in Java, HTTP request from client, from internet system or server, and then these are web services. And API just is we call as a interface. It's just an interface to make sure two applications can attract or communicate each other without any intervention. We call it API. Actually, this is a difference between API and web services. Web service is a collection of open source protocol. Is actually web service is a protocol and standard used for exchange data between system and application, whereas API is a software. Uh, Web service is a protocol and API is a software interface that allow to application attract or communicate each other. This is between different between web service and API. So web service is used for REST, for SOAP, XML, RPC for communication, while API is used for any style of communication. I think if you have experience develop a web page, I think I think is you have good experience on what is API and what is a web service. Web service support only HTTP, whereas API support HTTP, HTTPS protocol. So while if you want to develop application using HTTPS or secure your application, we need to use API because a web service only support HTTP protocol. So web service support XML, while API support XML and JSON. Okay, so all web services API, but all API not a web services. So what is XML? We're talking about we discussing about SML. Okay, so what is SML? SML is a software and hardware independent tool for storing and transporting data to the purpose of SML. The
Software and
difference
hardware
between
independent tool.
SML and HTML, SML was designed to
Okay,
carry
data
the data
purpose of what?
and HTML was designed to display the data. The difference is XML is how we carry the data, and HTML how we display our data. So HTML, of course, for sure, if you have experience, XML tag are not predefined like HTML tag. So the next one is SML. This is the benefit of SML. Actually, a lot of benefit when we are discussing about SML. But the as I mentioned before, actually SML is not support HTTPS. Okay, so in terms of other benefit, SML internationally media independent electronic publishing. It's easy as our developer develop our web using XML. Save business money by enabling use of inexpensive of the chef tool to process the data. It's easy how to we process the data. Save training and development cost by having a single format. Okay, increase reliability because user agent can automate more processing of document they receive. There's a lot of benefit. However, okay, XML produce a lot of vulnerabilities because of XML document have many security vulnerabilities that can be targeted for different type of attacks. For example, server side request forgery, port scanning, brute force attack, XML injection,
Cross.
cross-site injection, and so on. So we as a in case if we develop a web application, we must concern this type of vulnerabilities. How to if we develop a website using XML, so we need to make sure uh, how to stop or minimize the port scanning, how to prevent brute force attack and so on. So the next one is what is HTTPS? Okay, HTTPS
Yep.
is a secure version of HTTP actually,
Aku tapi aku ada
which
slide
is
seperti mana
the
kot.
primary
Macam
protocol used to send data between web browser and website. We are using HTTP. So HTTPS is encrypted in order to increase security of data transfer. Normally, okay, in transmit sensitive data, for example, using any bank account, email services, maybe or health insurance provider, we are using HTTPS. So in detail, how does HTTPS work? Actually, HTTPS
Structures.
use encryption protocol to encrypt the communication. So the protocol we are using protocol known as a transport layer protocol or TLS, formerly known as a secure socket layer. So currently we are using TLS instead of SSL. SSL already obsolete actually. So this type of security system are used two different key to encrypt communication between two parties refer to sender and receiver. The first one is a primary key and public key. So the primary key is controlled by the owner of the website and is kept,
Okay.
okay,
Exactly.
keep in the server actually, as the reader may have speculated private this key live on the web server and used to decrypt information encrypted by the public key. So the public key is a key is available to everyone or user who want to interact with the server in a in a way that's secure. So information that encrypted by the public key can only be decrypted by private key. So how the concept of HTTPS? So the process sending data from sender and receiver actually in public network, for example, internet in secure communication, the data is encrypted. That's why this is the concept of HTTPS work. So why HTTPS is very important? HTTPS prevent website from having their information broadcast in a way that easily viewed by anyone. Is maybe it refer to attackers snooping on the network. So when information is sent over HTTP, the information is broken into packet of data that can be easily sniffed using free software. Okay, so if we are using HTTP, is easy for attackers sniff and view the information of the data. That's why we need HTTPS, because HTTPS will encrypt the data in the form that the attackers or anyone cannot simply view the packet. So this so with HTTPS traffic is encrypted, as I mentioned. If the packet is sniffed or otherwise intercepted, maybe through the man in the middle attack, they will come across non-social non-social character. Look at the example. For example, the string tag that's completely readable. Maybe after encryption, like ITMOIR, blah 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 blah. So it's not easy for attackers to to, to read the message, and they need to decrypt the message. So maybe it take a long time to decrypt the message. That's why we need HTTPS, and most of I think for sure most of the banking sector use HTTPS protocol. So the next one is how HTTPS different from HTTP. As mentioned, actually HTTPS is not a separate protocol from HTTP. Actually, we just embed TLS or SSL encryption over the HTTP protocol. This is a concept. We are still using HTTP, but we embed the TLS or SSL over the HTTP protocol. Okay, HTTPS occur based upon the transmission of TLS and SSL certificate. With a user connect to the web page, the web page will send over its using TLS and SSL certificate, which contain the public key necessary to start the secure session. Actually, when uh, as a user will try to communicate with a server, actually after we need to establish the session, okay, session between server and user. We call as a three-way handshake. Okay, we first start three-way handshake. After we secure the communication, so we start the secure session between sender and the receiver. Okay, the two computer, the client and server, then go through a process called SSL, TLS handshake. That's why we need public key and private key, which are serious back and forth communication used to establish this secure connection. Okay, so this example um, how we are using HTTPS instead of HTTP. If HTTP, we can see or capture the password. For example, Guru 1999. If we are using HTTPS, the password is encrypted. So maybe is the password Guru 1999 translate to VXS79 blah 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 blah. So it is how we different between HTTP and HTTPS. Actually, not packet, but our password also encrypted. Okay, so HTTPS protocol cannot stop stealing confidential information from the page cache on the browser. This is a limitation of HTTPS. Actually, the process of the data only encrypted during the transmission. So the problem and the issue is the attackers can still can stealing our information, sensitive information from the cache of the on the browser actually. So SSL data can be encrypted only during the transmission on the network. So it cannot clear the tag in the is so it can clear the tag in the browser memory. So HTTPS can increase this is another limitation or disadvantage using HTTPS. Actually, it can increase the overhead, okay, as well as a network overhead of the organization. Maybe it's consume a little bit memory, bandwidth, and so on. So, still discussing about SSL and TLS. SSL is, as mentioned, is a secure socket layer, and is a successor from TLS, a protocol for establishing authenticated and encrypted link between network computer. As mentioned, actually SSL just embed with HTTP. We call it HTTPS. Okay, so using SSL or TLS using two pair key is they are actually the public key. Okay, the private key is a keep secure in our server, and then the public key can be widely distributed or shared via certificate. Okay, so why is SSL and TLS is very important? As mentioned before, actually the data transfer uh, between sender and receiver through open uh, channel, for example, internet is in a plain text actually. That and anyone can if uh, snap the plain text and could read if they intercepted the message. For example, if a consumer visited a shopping website, maybe for example, um, Shopee, for example, or Lazada, place an order and enter the credit card number on the website. The credit card number would be traveled across the unsecure network through internet. So SSL was created to correct this problem and protect user privacy by encrypt any data that goes between user and web server through SSL. That's why we need SSL in our application, especially for web application, to ensure that anyone who intercept the data can only see a scrambled mess of character. Okay. For example, the customer credit card number now is safe, only visible to the shopping website where they enter it. That's why we need SSL or TLS. So SSL also can stop certain kind of cyber attack. For example, authenticate web server, which are very important because attacker will often try to set up a fake website. Maybe the attacker try to set up the fake website, and through the fake website, we as a user try to attach or browse the fake website to trick a user and steal this sensitive information. So the next one is IPsec. I think IPsec is a secure network protocol. The another method is IPsec is Internet Protocol Security. Is a secure network protocol suite that authenticate and encrypt the packet of the data to provide secure encrypted communication. Normally, we apply IPsec in a VPN. Okay. Actually, what is a VPN? VPN is a virtual private network. It's an encrypted connection between two or more users. VPN normally during COVID-19, we work from home, for example. So if I need to, for example, if I need to access certain application at your ITM, for example, maybe a student database, maybe need certain application staff database. Normally, I access the data atau access the application using VPN. Okay, because VPN is data exchange over VPN still private because it is encrypted. Okay, so actually, I think most of company during COVID-19 allow their staff to access work from home, access certain application using VPN. So VPN is make it possible to secure access and exchange confidential data over shared network infrastructure such as internet. Okay. For instance, as mentioned, when employees are working remotely, instead of in the office, they are often VPN to access corporate file and application. For example, if Cisco have a VPN for client. If at your ITM, if you access, I need to install VPN client, Cisco VPN client at my laptop. So many VPN used in IPsec. Actually, when we're talking about IPsec, it relate VPN because we are using VPN uh, based we are using VPN technologies using IPsec protocol. So many VPN use the IPsec protocol suite to establish and run this encrypted connection. Okay. However, not all VPN IPsec. Just to remind, however, not VPN use IPsec. Maybe another VPN maybe use SSL or TLS. Okay, but commonly we are using VPN using IPsec. Okay, user can access IPsec VPN by logging VPN application of VPN client. For example, as I mentioned, Cisco have Cisco VPN client. This typically require the user to have install the application on their device. For example, if you work from home, you need to install this VPN client at your laptop. Okay, VPN logging usually password based. Okay. Normally, we are based on concept using authentication. We need a password. We need username and password to access VPN. So the next one is a domain name system security extension,
DNS.
or the acronym is DNSSEC. We call it as a DNSSEC for securing data exchange in domain name system, or DNS, in Internet Protocol Network. Actually, DNSSEC is strengthened authentication in DNS using it's using a digital signature based on public key cryptography. Okay, every DNS zone, okay, has a public and private key pair. So actually, for DNS, yeah, I think I just special YouTube, actually special, just give a link on YouTube. This YouTube only 4 minutes only. So it's actually I think this YouTube is very easy if you want to understand what is DNS actually. That's why I just put www the link of YouTube. Maybe just 5 minutes. I think maybe sambil minum kopi or teh tarik, maybe you can view or watch this YouTube. So for this class, very short only. I think that's all for chapter 8 is a component about security architecture. So just wrap up again. In this chapter, we're discussing about component security architecture. We're not talking about any promote any specific vendor. Okay, as a security architecture, you must know how to Google to find the best device for your system. Okay, the most important thing is your device is interoperability. So you can easily expand your in future maybe in future you want to expand your network. So make sure you are using your device is easy to expand your network system. For example, maybe if you buy some of router brand A, for example, brand X, for example. If you want to expand your network, you need also brand X. This is we not call as a interoperability. Supposed to be it can communicate with a Huawei router or Huawei switches. It also can communicate with a Cisco router and so on. This we call as interoperability. In terms of security standard, actually a lot of security standard uh, we have actually from ISO, from IEC, from IETF, and so on. So I think you need to differentiate between API, what is the API and web services. So API is allow two application communicate each other without interruption. This is what we call as API. So any question before we stop our class today? Very short uh, uh, lecture today. So just to remind again, so this is our last class, and then maybe on 5 February you have test one. It's a last assessment. Okay, and then for next week, please, I would like to invite you all join the security forum organized by your senior. Okay, any question maybe from Putri, from Ivan, from Mahfud, and
Doctor, I have a question. Regarding our test, is there is any tips for the question for the test? Sorry.
for the test.
Mm-mm.
Actually, the test is open book, Mahfuz.
Mm.
So I think it's just 20%. Okay,
Okay.
if you unable to attend the test, you still get a result, grade A. Okay,
Wow.
okay,
So the test is
just 20%. Three question is open book. Uh,
two question homework. Yeah.
Open book. The tip is for example, I give your case study.
Mm.
You need to Google and find, for example, the questions such as your case study case study too. You
Okay.
need you need to find the data breach, for example. That's all. The concept is similar, but I just uh, yeah, not tip lah, Mahfuz.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. That.
very, very simple, very simple question. So
Mm.
mostly I sure 100% you can answer my question.
Yeah, inshallah. Another one, doctor, regarding
Mm,
the part, the case study 2,
mm,
which will be submitted on the 2
mm,
Okay, the part two, part two from part two, there is a question about investigate position available within cybersecurity, which involving jobstreet.com. I
mm,
already gone through the what the case study. I mean, not the case study, a part of a part two from part two.
mm.
Is it limited with the jobstreet.com only, or we can use other website of
Okay.
searching?
Actually, you can use any website lah. So for example in Malaysia, so far the most familiar is job street kan.
Mm-mm. Because
So,
currently I've already registered with jobseek.com,
mm,
and then they called me a few days ago, okay, regarding meaning that they have a policy. They asked me either I'm a job seeker or I'm a employer.
mm-hmm.
Employee is your employee. Okay. If I'm none from that, they will deactivate my account as such
Oh,
because they're looking forward for the job seeker to use their website. So that is why
mm-hmm.
I asked you regarding this, because another one is the question number one regarding job
Mahfuz,
listing. Yeah.
any suggestion if you want to so far ada tak website lain selain daripada job street? Tak sure sebab lama tak cari kerja.
No, not sure. I already done this part. I just put whatever that I have. I mean, I get from the jobstreet.com. I hope you are
Hmm.
satisfied with my answer.
Actually, you can use any website
Okay, okay,
for
okay.
Okay, thank you, doctor. Doctor,
mm,
also, so basically for the test,
mm.
it's not specifically related to any of the chapters that we learned.
Actually it's specific it's not specific, actually it's combined.
Hmm.
Actually when we're talking about how we're talking about physical security architecture, for example, we need to find what the best for example if you want to buy firewall, what is the best
Hmm.
criteria
Specification.
specification of
Hmm. Oh, I
firewall.
see.
Mm. We need to Google and find the best firewall.
Hmm. Roger,
Did,
Roger.
did,
Okay, okay.
did I answer your question, Ivan?
Yes, doctor, understood. I just wanted to confirm.
Ah,
Hmm.
so the best the tip is you don't need to study. After you get the question, you just browse and answer my question.
And you will get A, is it?
Don't worry, don't worry. No need to struggle study. No need. Just answer the question and you browse through your browser and then answer my question. That's all.
Thank you very much, doctor. That's clear.
Okay. So any question? Thank you.
Everything is okay so far.
Thank you very much, you all. Yeah, I think maybe hopefully lah you can join forum next week. I
Inshallah.
think forum is I think is a I think it's a good platform. Maybe expose your knowledge in
Hmm.
security. Okay.
Okay, doctor.
Okay.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you very much,
everyone.
doctor. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, doctor.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam.